Welcome back to another episode of Let's Have a Sip. I'm your host, Sean Drinks, and we're live. How's it going?
We're going great.
Good. Blake Stephenson, you are the president of Modern Luxury Magazine.
Yes, Texas president.
Texas president, excuse me. So is the Modern Luxury Magazine, is that specific to Dallas?
Yes. Well, so there's a network of magazines across the country. So we've got 22. We're in 22 different markets. There's 87 different titles. So I oversee the Texas market. So that's Dallas and Houston. And then we're dabbling in Austin right now as well.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was mentioning to some people that you were coming on and like, oh, I love that magazine. So, but I had never heard of it until I came to Texas, and I was like, this is pretty cool because it was so random. So whenever you and I and Courtney were hanging out that one day, we were, I didn't really know too much about the magazine or whatever. And then like literally that day, I think we like went somewhere to like some restaurant or whatever. And in there, they had some very, very nice restrooms. And I think it was Apothecary Bar on Greenville. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, but
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So we went in there and I was like, hey, that's that magazine.
There it is.
So,
yeah.
That's pretty cool. So
yeah, it's fun. I've been with the magazine I'm going on 12 years now. So seems like a really long time. Before that, I was with D Magazine, which you may have heard of. I was there for 13 years. So I think all in all, I've been in the industry for almost 30 years, which is scary.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I didn't realize that you were with the D Magazine at one point in 30 years. Yeah. That's props to you. So that's pretty cool. So is the luxury magazine industry, if you will, is it really like The Devil Wears Prada? Because I feel like that was like kind of over the top, but
yeah, I mean, no, no, I think people are a lot nicer than that. There are some funny moments though where I have to catch myself and I'm like, oh gosh, that sounds a little like, even on Friday, I was like, okay, I was telling my editor, I'm like, enough of the caftans. That was so 2020. so yeah, we have these moments where we banter and kind of play along to it, but, or at least candid with one another. But all in all, I think there's a really wonderful camaraderie between us all.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so because I know y'all, it's pretty much like one of the nation's largest like modern luxury magazine, correct?
Yeah, it's the largest luxury magazine network in the United States, and what that means is we have the tentacles of a national brand. Like I just mentioned, 22 markets, 87 different titles, home magazines, wedding magazines, each city, resort titles, even custom magazines. But we've got local editors in each of our markets as well. So it's that rich combination of national editorial, fabulous travel stories, fashion editorial, photo shoots in Westminster Abbey, et cetera. But then we've got local editors with boots on the ground, local publishers. So we can tell the story or share the story of, the guy across the street, who just maybe relocated here from California, like how his business is doing and what brought him here. So it's a very expensive way to do a business, but at the same time, I think it's what the readers like, because we're also kind of fluid, if you will.
So I know you had mentioned to me before you had came on that you have been here recently doing a lot of business with a lot of whiskey companies. Is that correct?
Yeah. We love whiskey companies.
So, because I feel like it's been just like, I don't know if it's since I've moved to Texas or if it was prior to that, but I feel like the whiskey industry has just been booming.
It is. And I'm sure it probably came out of the pandemic a little bit. Like, we're in solitude a little bit. I want a moment. I also think, some of the local brands that we work with, like for instance, Garrison is a huge partner of ours. It's Texas based. Funny enough, though, they're doing a lot in the California market right now. But and then also, I think the whiskey companies are pivoting towards women as well. So whiskey and women is becoming a thing. I think as more and more women are our bosses, if you will.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, no, thanks. I can buy my own cocktail. Thanks. So there's a little bit of that as well.
Yeah, for sure. That's
Mhm.
one thing that I try to get my fiance Courtney to get into is whiskey, and it's like I'll try it, but no, I'm good. It
Yeah.
smells and it smells and tastes like gasoline. I'm like, well, I can't argue with you. So, but
Well,
it's the same thing for me with wine. Like I try to get into it, but it's like I don't know. It's just not my jam. But that's
yeah.
hers. That's all good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
She won't be stealing your whiskey.
No, no, she won't. And I have an excessive amount of whiskey. This is like I don't know how many bottles are behind me, but um, I I think I recounted the other day. I think I have 129 bottles, and that's a lot of whiskey.
Oh my
So
gosh.
it's
I
a
feel like
problem.
that's that song, 129 bottles of oh, that's beer. Never mind.
Wait, no, no, I know what you're talking. It's like yeah, 99 bottles of whatever on the wall. Yeah, no, I know.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, we'll definitely have to get you out to some of our whiskey dinners this fall. We're planning some amazing ones. So,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely down to go to stuff like that. So that's my jam. Yeah, so because I know you do go to like a lot of events and stuff like that. So I mean, if you had to pick like maybe one thing or one type of event that you regularly go to,
Mhm.
what would you really choose? What would you choose to go to? What's your favorite?
So I'd say probably in the fall, cattle barons is always a favorite. They're approaching their 50th anniversary next year. So cattle barons is typically in September, so it's September 17th this year. They're going back to South Fork, which will be so fun. So it's just quintessentially Dallas, right? Cattle Barons Ball, Dominion will be performing. I use that as a team bonding moment with my team, so they all attend. We have a table and have the best time. So I'd say that for the fall, and then in the spring I really like April. It seems like April in Dallas just comes alive. It's art month, so you've got art fair, you've got art ball, but then this coming year I'm going to be co-hosting or co-chairing the Children's Cancer Fund, which is on April 22nd. So super excited about that. Obviously, children's cancer is the cause. We are honorary chairs are Dak Prescott and Troy Aikman. So that's just a meaningful cause, and I brought my daughter to it last year, which was really meaningful. Just that, she actually, got to see girls her own age, actually even in her school at ESD, who have been battling cancer. So it was a moment for this particular cause to resonate for both of us, and certainly not take things like that for granted, take life for granted. So.
Yeah, 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 no doubt. And that's one thing that I've have come to realize a little bit more as I've matured is like what really matters. Like
Mhm.
if I do X, Y, and Z, like is it really worth it? Like let me focus on what really matters in life, which is friends, family, because we don't really have that much time. And it's I feel like that kind of hit me more so like once COVID started. I don't know why, but that's just kind of I guess because people were more segregated, and you can't you know what I'm saying. So that
Yeah, yeah.
yeah
You looked at the person, the people that were in front of you, and you decided whether or not you wanted them in your life or you didn't. And those that you did truly love, it's like you hold them a little bit closer for sure.
yeah yeah no doubt. So coming back to whiskey.
Mhm.
Right now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this or not, but Timbercraft whiskey. Does that sound familiar to you at all?
No, where's
Okay,
it?
so it's a little bit smaller, and I
Mhm.
think they're distilled in well, excuse me, they're distilled in Indiana, but so it's
Oh,
MGP. I don't know if you ever heard of that or not, but um, I don't really remember exactly where they're bottled at. Big Springs. Big. Does that sound familiar at all? Is that a place in
well,
Texas?
yeah. There's Big Springs, Texas, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, that's where they're bottled. But that is some good stuff, and I can't believe a lot of people don't really know too much about that place, but it's very good.
Oh well, I'll have to try it. I'll have to look that up for sure. I'll get a
Yeah,
rep on it.
yes, and that brings me to my next question: is like, what or how do you actually decide what you'll publish in the magazine?
Well, typically we're driven by our editorial calendar, which we're actually working on right now for 2023. So we have certain themes to each issue, and so that gives us a directive across the country. And then we dive in a little bit deeper to the specifics of the market. So, like for instance, it's real easy. The September issue is fall fashion, so that's pretty much our Super Bowl issue, right? In
Okay.
terms of advertising, we have Natalie Portman who's going to be gracing our cover, and a lot of it is. She's a Dior ambassador, for instance. So Dior is a huge partner of ours. So fall fashion. So then we dive in heavy into retail. October is our men's issue. So it's Men of Style, Modern Men, travel issues. So that's where you're going to see our whiskey advertising kick in. We're going to be doing an event for the opening of the PGA headquarters in Plano, which is a big deal. So that will probably entail a whiskey moment, for instance. Automotive industry that starts to dial up a little bit, October, November timeframe. So I could go on and share our editorial calendar, but it's usually driven by that.
Okay. Cool.
Mhm,
Yeah, I like that. So it's
mhm.
awesome. So do you actually have the opportunity to, like you said, Natalie Portman's going to be the cover of the magazine at some point. Do you have the opportunity to meet these celebrities?
I mean, I could if I travel to the other markets. So in California, we have the Angelina magazine. In Miami, we have Ocean Drive and Miami magazine. Of course, there's New York, there's Hampton. So wherever the celebrities are in those particular markets, it's a little obviously more accessible. Here in
Okay.
Dallas, it's like we don't really have celebrities per se. We have athletes. We have a
Yeah.
lot of athletes. We have celebrity chefs. So that's pretty much what I have access to here. But then again, one of the reasons why we're diving into Austin is because a lot of celebrities are relocating to Austin. So it's becoming more and more of a luxury market, which is super exciting. I'm planning an event for Formula One in October, on October 22nd. And I'm looking at the guest list and I'm just thinking, oh gosh, I had no idea. Scooter Braun moved to Austin, Jamie Foxx, Emma Stone. Of course, there's Matthew McConaughey, but there's just tons of others. Adrian Grenier. So yeah, any opportunities there are for celebrities, particularly when you can infuse them into our events, is a bonus.
Oh yeah. Yeah. No
Mhm.
doubt. So speaking of Matthew McConaughey, I just got done reading. Well, I say reading. I got done listening because I use Audible for my commute to and from work. Got done listening to Green Lights. Have you had the opportunity to read that book yet?
No, I've heard it's fabulous though.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
very good. It's pretty much just a memoir of his life, and yeah, it was phenomenal, and it was very crazy. And I
Oh, I can't wait to read it. Yeah. So we're actually in contact with the woman who runs his foundation because she happens to be the same woman that runs Dak Prescott's foundation. So through the charity that I'm working with, I'm hoping that we can create a moment with him. So because I've heard that book is phenomenal.
yeah, yeah, for sure. And that's one thing I've tried to get into a lot more is reading because I feel like that it just mentally stimulates me. And that's one thing I like to really do whenever I'm kind of winding down in the evening. So, but what's next? Any big projects or anything like that? What's next for Blake Stephenson?
Well, so I've just hired two more people to join our team. So now is the time to do that as we kind of start planning next year. So I can kind of onboard them, use the next couple of months to plan out what we're doing. So there's that, and then obviously wrapping up the back half of the year. So there's that. And funny enough, I've got a couple of interns that are coming on board, which is so bizarre to me because now we've turned the corner to where my interns are now my friends' children.
Wow.
I know. So I've got two interns, and they're daughters of people that I went to school with at University of Texas in Austin, which is I'm super excited about that. So I'm very focused on kind of growing their careers or helping expose them to what it is that I do and what it is that we do as a team, and getting them excited. They have such fresh minds and they're so digitally driven. And so I'm learning a lot from them. Of course, that's a huge part of what we do too, but it's been really, really fun to collaborate with them in that capacity.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I love what it is that you do, and the magazine seems very interesting. And Yeah, I'm excited to see what the future has for Modern Luxury Magazine. So really excited for that.
Thank you.
But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. Really
Okay.
appreciate you getting on, and really excited about that. You said it was a fall festival whiskey something or another. What was that?
We'll have lots of whiskey moments together this fall. I guarantee it.
Okay, cool. Looking forward to it. Until next time, everybody. Peace.